Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. It's Lane here with MetaShackle. And this video is the part 2 of what I've labeled the coming crypto faults breakout and flash crash in April. So let's get into this. First, if you haven't seen the first video in this series, I would definitely recommend going back and then watching that first. Otherwise, none of this is going to make any sense to you. But right here, we're looking at the total crypto market cap chart. And as you can see, it is actually attempting to start the third wave right here. This being the rim line of the cup and handle that you can see right here. As it was retesting this line, it fell through it, and now that rim line is actually acting as resistance, and it looks like right here it may get rejected, which would actually go along with my thesis that we're going to see a pullback before we get the fake out to the upside, to which the flash crash occurs in April, liquidating everybody. Then the real move begins. So it's likely that we could come down here, maybe bounce off of this lower trend line right here, maybe even come down to the bottom of the handle on the cup in this area here. But if you look at the overall chart, this is the general thesis. All the charts I'm about to show you are currently working on moving into the fifth wave, to where the total crypto market cap chart is working on moving into the third wave. So they're not aligning with each other. Generally, when you see these patterns, they break out on the fifth wave. Not always, but generally. And other times, you'll see that they break out on the seventh wave. So to where the total crypto market cap is working on what will become the third wave, the other ISO 222 tokens are working on what is now becoming the fifth wave. I do believe that that fake out will occur right here into the flash crash. Then after that flash crash is completed, then we will see the move that we have all been waiting for. So first we'll take a look at the XRP chart. You can clearly see that it has the 5-way pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, and is working on starting the fifth wave. It's very likely that the price is going to be rejected off this -1, and it's going to pull back to the bottom of this trend line right here in this broadening wedge. Then we will likely see the beginning of the fake out, which will come up, put pressure on this new all-time high. Then when the flash crash comes, which I believe is going to be mid to the end of April, I have it marked as the 23rd right here as it fits the thesis I released in my SUI video last night. Then we will see the bull run break out right here, being the biggest part of the move and confirming that the XRP breakout chart is in fact accurate. Taking a look at XCN, this is not an ISO 222 token, but it's very popular, and it's also one that I like to keep an eye on, and I do hold a nice long position on this as well. You can see that it's trading in that same 5-wave pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, currently attempting to transition to that fifth wave as well. It is nearing the end of this descending wedge pattern, pushing towards the -6. I also believe that this is going to come down here, most likely below this wedge, before the fake out, trading towards equilibrium. This one likely won't test this high, but will probably be somewhere in this red range. I don't exactly know for sure, and don't take these levels as gospel, because most of them are just being used to give you an idea of what I'm talking about in my thesis, to which we will then see the flash crash, coming down to sweep all the previous lows of the entire pattern, then to price discovery. Now taking a look at ALGO, it is also exhibiting that same 5-wave pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, and is also working on the fifth wave right here. Unlike the other charts, it has yet to sweep these lower lows in this area, which makes it very likely that we will see ALGO come down, at least sweep this low, but it's also very likely that it will come down and sweep this low around the -3.5, to which then it will have the rally in the fake out, which will likely break out of this upper trend line, because we can clearly see after this move right here that happened recently that ALGO can really move when it wants to. So it will likely challenge this high before the flash crash in April, coming down, which will likely reset this entire pattern, negating all of the gains from the Trump election pump, to which then we will move towards true price discovery. Moving on to ALGO, this is also a coin that I have a really large position in for the long term. it's exhibiting the same pattern. 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, and is attempting to transition into that 5th wave as well. It has swept the previous low right here on this liquidation candle that was set on February 3rd. It also has plenty of room for the pullback right here, moving towards the -5. And this is my best guess. It's just kind of to give us an idea of what could happen. It may go lower than this. It may not go as low as this. It may bounce off this trend line before moving into the false breakout, attempting to put pressure on this high right here, to which the flash crash will engage, wiping out this entire pattern, negating virtually all of the gains from the Trump election pump as well, and then trading towards equilibrium and moving into true price discovery. Can you see how these charts are all exhibiting the same type of a pattern? Moving on to ONDO. This is also not an ISO 222 token, but it's one that I like to follow. I think it has a bright future ahead of it. It has the same descending wedge pattern. It is also working on transitioning into the 5th wave. It has swept the previous low of the liquidation candle on February 3rd and is trading towards the bottom of the pattern. It's likely going to break through this bottom trend line, putting pressure on the -5 and completely erasing all of the gains from the Trump election pump. Following the same pattern all the other charts I've showed you so far, moving into the fake out wave, which will put pressure on this high here as well. The flash crash likely sweep this entire pattern and even back into this area here, potentially matching or even overtaking this low set right here on August 5th, to which then we will see a move upward, which will be the real move, moving into true price discovery as well. Moving on to HBAR, this chart looks very similar to the XRP chart. It's trading in that 5 wave pattern, attempting to transition into the 5th wave. It's also trading in a broadening wedge pattern. It's trading towards the bottom. It swept the low of February 3rd right here. It is likely going to sweep this low as well, moving towards this lower trend line and potentially down into this range. I'm not sure if it will go all the way down to the -6, but it will likely at least come down to this weak doji that we have marked out right here, which is why I've brought this to that area, to the bottom of this weak doji right here, which fits my grafting equilibrium trading philosophy. Moving into the false breakout, coming into the flash crash in April, and then moving forward into true price discovery once gathering all the remaining liquidity at the bottom of the chart. This chart looks fabulous. Now moving on to the XLM chart. Generally XLM and XRP follow closely together, but XRP is currently trading in an expanding broadening wedge pattern to where XLM is actually kind of broke off onto its own pattern and is trading in a descending wedge, but it is also exhibiting that same 5 wave pattern that we've seen in every other chart I've showed you, except XLM has actually swept this low as well as this lower low right here. XRP has yet to do so. So it's very likely that we will either touch this bottom trend line, break down to the -1.5, or perhaps even down to this range, hitting into the -2. I don't know the exact levels, just using this as an example. And then we will likely see trading towards equilibrium, moving up, challenging the high, to which the flash crash will come, going lower than any low on this entire pattern before bottoming and then moving into true price discovery into the month of May. This chart also looks fabulous. I really like what I'm seeing here. Moving on to the XDC chart. As you can see, it's trading in the same 5 wave pattern, but unlike the others, this one's trading in an extremely descending wedge pattern, moving towards the bottom of the range. It has yet to sweep this low right here, which it is very likely to do so, and it's also likely to come down to the -4.5 or slightly below, potentially even to this weak doji range right here in the 5 cents to mid 5 cents range, which would put it somewhere in this area. But as you can see from the wedge pattern, it's running out of space, so it's likely that we're going to see it make a decision soon, probably reverse into this false breakout, moving into that same pattern we've seen so far to the flash crash in April, and then also moving on to true price discovery in the month of May, moving into June, July, and potentially August. Moving on to IOTA, this is one that I've always liked, but I do not hold a position of any kind in it. It is trading in a rather long descending wedge pattern, exhibiting the same 5 wave pattern that we've seen so far, trading towards the bottom of the range. It has swept the previous low from February 3rd, and it's very likely that this will move down in this area here, possibly to the bottom of the range, where the Trump pump started back on November 4th, negating the entire move before moving moving towards equilibrium into the false breakout. It likely won't challenge this high, will most likely come up somewhere between the orange and the red bars before the flash crash comes, knocking it down to the bottom, which will likely sweep lower than the low it sets here, and moving all the way back. It may even put in a low that is comparable to the one we see right here. If you hold this, or you're looking to establish a position on this, laddering buy orders somewhere in this area could be very beneficial for you, because if that candle drops down to the bottom range and comes somewhere in the range of this lower candle here, you could stack IOTA at a price that nobody has been able to buy it for, going all the way back to about March 2020, which could be a massive opportunity. Definitely something to consider. Moving on to Quant, it has a large descending wedge pattern that's fairly tight, exhibiting the same 5-wave pattern we've seen on every single chart I've showed you today. It has swept the previous low from February 3rd. It has come down and touched the negative 3.5 line perfectly. It's likely going to break below this trend line, taking out this previous low and trading somewhere towards this weak doji here, perhaps even this weak doji right in this area, completely negating all the profits from the Trump pump. It might not be a bad idea as well to gauge off of this low set right here on August 5th, maybe laddering some limit buy orders somewhere in this area right here towards the bottom of the range. Just like in IOTA, in the event that it does come down to push into this range here, you'd be able to pick up a position for a really good deal, rather than doing what the herd's going to do and chasing this false breakout all the way up just to watch the flash crash liquidate them and take all their profits right before moving into true price discovery. So that'll be another one that you're going to want to keep an eye on. So in closing, I hope you can see, after looking at the ISO 222 tokens, you can see how they are correlating to what we're seeing right here in the total crypto market cap chart. Although running at the same time is running at a different stage than all of the charts that we're seeing. And that's why I believe that most people looking at these charts, when we do see this false breakout, people are going to believe that that is the breakout we've been waiting for, and they're going to pile in and they're going to chase that false breakout, only to watch their dreams vaporized in an instant as the flash crash strikes in April, kicking the market cap in the ass to a level that you can only dream of. And then just about the time they're scratching their heads wondering what the hell just happened, losing all their funds, getting completely wiped out, then sitting back and watching the price move into true price discovery. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much to my veteran subscribers that have been with me since the very beginning, as well as the new subscribers. Do me a favor and hit the like button if you could. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps the channel, and I'd really appreciate it. So thank you for watching. Have a great day.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit. The thermal displacement occurred exactly 1:20 a.m. in 0 seconds!
Ah, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, Doc, you disintegrated...
Bitcoin.
Calm down, Marty. I didn't disintegrate anything. The molecular structure
XRP.
in the car are completely intact.
Where the hell are they?
The appropriate question is, when the hell are they? You see,
XRP.
has just become the world's first time traveler. I sent him into the future.